Kids and Cadets 2016 Husqvarna all-wheel drive, the LC221 Alpha. We did an initial video. I went through the drivetrain with you guys. I sent you home. I went and degreased everything. The wheels, made them look pretty. Now we're on the second half of the project. I'm going to take the carburetor off, clean the carb and the tank. Had a guy reach out to me, wanted an all-wheel drive, either a Husky, John Deere, or what else did he want? I wrote it down, a Lawn Boy all-wheel drive. So let's get busy with this. Take the carb off. We're going to put a new air filter on it. It had no filter on it. I grabbed up a filter. The engine number on this is 1602165404603. I didn't mention that in the other video. Nice looking 2016. It's got some scrapes on the paint, but mechanically it seems to be in good condition. Let me see if I can remember how to get these secondary plastic beauty rings off. I did a video on these. Okay. How to get these things off. They more or less pop in straight down. Some of them have one tab here that you slide. So lift up these two in the front, and then the rest of them just come up straight. Okay, we need 8mm here on the top. Let me grab a 8 socket. I got my DeWalt impact driver, 1/4 inch. This recoil's got to come off because it goes on top of the tank. I want the tank off to pour the fuel out of this. I just find it easier removing the recoil. I've seen some guys just do the job from the side. That way you can oil up the recoil at the same time. We're going to grease this up, oil it up right now. So I look for where the 90-degree bend is on the spring, and there's a little hole there. I'm going to fill that in with some oil. Oil up that pawl, turn it over, oil up that white pawl, and then a little bit right here. Okay, that's ready to go back on. I'm going to use some compressed air right now and blast the cup out. It's got some snot in it. It'd be a good time to tighten up the head too. I'll do that. That's a 10. I'll show you how to do that. I got a long 10, long socket. Grab my 3/8 drive bar. And just tighten up the top one, go to the bottom one, opposite side. That one was really loose. Go to the top here again. A little turn there, and then reach underneath the valve cover and get that one. Start over again this corner, and then opposite corner near the plug. This was the really loose one. So crisscross. I don't use a torque wrench. So we're ready to take this thing apart. I got the 8 sockets still on here. I'll go up here and remove the sheet metals. Those come down, change out my socket to a 7 millimeter. Get the other 2 screws that go directly into the carburetor. Try not to lose the hardware. Okay, that's that. Backing plate comes off. We'll lift the tank up, rest it there. Pull the carb out. Okay, my white keeper and the O-ring popped off. Put those to the side. And tilt the carb back towards the engine. Do the Z-bend on the automatic choke wafer. Turn the carb to the side. Z-bend on the throttle / governor linkage. Okay, get that off. Before I forget, I'll put my 8 millimeter on the ratchet and go ahead and tighten up the two 8s here that hold the metal bracket to the engine, the intake right here. That one's a little loose. That one's a little loose. Back again and then back again. Okay, that's tightened up. Okay, let's use my needle nose. Separate the carburetor from the tank. Give the hose a twist. Break that tension. Pull with all your might. Let's pour what's in the tank into the iced tea jug that's cut in half. We've got some debris. Gas looks cloudy. We may have some water in this. I'll bring it up there and show you. I'll try to get most of it out. Okay. Ton of debris. Very cloudy. It's starting to settle out. Potential water contamination in there. Super cloudy. We'll let this sit. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do some bowl removal. See what's in the bowl. First, I may take my air gun and just blast some of this debris away. You guys with me? Okay, that's that. Grab my 7 on the impact, take these off. There's 1, 2. Grab my big wide screwdriver, which is nearby, and then just separate the bowl in that notch. Let's see what the fuel looks like here. Let me pour it into a fabric softener cap. It looks kind of watery, a lot of snot. And the diffuser came off. I'll show you where that goes. So cloudy. Let's see how the other gas panned out. Still cloudy. So it hasn't separated yet. The water hasn't settled down to the bottom, but I think it will here. So I think fuel is our issue because this thing wouldn't run. Main jet isn't plugged up. I'm going to clean the bowl out and then show you where that little diffuser goes. Okay, that's that. Going to remove the cartridge screwdriver on the little main jet. Push up on it, the whole cartridge comes out. Secondary jet is not plugged up. I'm going to separate the center piece. Everything looks clean. There's a little bit of garbage on it. I'm going to blast this out with some compressed air. Put that there. Try not to get it dirty. I'm going to take the float out. Just lift up here on the pin with a screwdriver. Drop the pin. There's the needle. I'm going to clean this out with some compressed air. Okay, I'll show you where this diffuser goes. It goes right there. It's not uncommon for these things to fall off. I've found them in the bowl before. So this thing is cupped. So you want the cupped, or the little indentation here, you want to face you, and put it back in the slot that it goes. And you can see it's put on with the machine. It makes a little mark there. I just take the screwdriver and push it back into place. Just give it a little pressure and that'll stay there. Cleaned out the inside here, blasted a little bit up into the seat, blasted a little bit here, a little compressed air down there, cleaned out in here with a little compressed air. If you weren't around, I would have degreased this, let it sit in the sun and dry it off, but I'm under time management. you guys can take your time and do it right. Clean up everything as it's being taken apart. Okay. Putting the float back in. The pin just clicks into place. Okay, I'll put the cartridge back. The longer screws with the big fat washer type head, those are for the bowl. So let me take the 7 off the impact. I want to put these on by hand so I don't strip the plastic out. Put in my O-ring on the intake side, then the white keeper. Click that down. I don't see any other parts that are missing. Okay, I'm going to start with the Z-bend on the throttle / governor linkage that goes on. Tilt the carburetor towards the engine. Feed my other Z-bend for the automatic choke into place. Feed my O-ring and keeper onto the intake tube. Everything's moving free and clear. Okay, now time to blast some compressed air into the tank. I think there's a lot of water in here. It's really cloudy. Okay, I got it air dried. You could put a little gas in here, shake it around, and get the remaining water out if you were concerned, but I think I did a good job of cleaning this up. Slide the tank back on, fish my gas line onto the carb. Needle nose for the clamp, hose clamp. Okay, get rid of that bad gas. Now it's time for the backing plate. Put the breather hose on, and we'll start with the 2 screws directly into the carb. I'll put those on by hand. I'll get them started with just my extension. That's tight. Get my 8. We're going to do the 2 sheet metal screws here. We'll get all this back on with the recoil. I forgot to blast this out with some air. I got a ton of projects to go. You guys are going to tag along. I got stuff, parts came in, I got stuff to fix. Okay, recoil time. I'll use my impact for these. Okay, start back here. Push down, go to the middle and push down. And push down and up right above the overhead valve to get those 2 clips. Okay, this is on. Let's gas it. I have high confidence this thing's going to work. As far as the drive system, that's another unanswered question. I lubed up everything with your help. Hopefully the drive system works front and back. As far as the engine, it did fire off, and we saw the fuel was extremely cloudy. So confident it's going to run. As far as move, we'll find out here in 30 seconds. Okay, everything's tight. Plug wires on. I know I got oil from previously checking it. Okay, let's try it. What do you say? Put these guys up here on the LC221 Alpha, the 625EX. Let's get busy. Uh-oh, what happened? It stalled out. I had moved it to the side to rescue Mr. Snake. I didn't want him chopped up, and the thing stalled out on its own. Let's investigate. The safety brake cable felt a little squashy. Oh, that's not good. We got a fuel starvation issue. It's starting and then stalling. I got good fuel. Both jets were free and clear. What the heck is this Husky doing to me? Wow. That is not good. Will it take a shot of juice to get it to perform? Why do we have to go through the fuel system twice? You guys supervised and you didn't squawk that I forgot parts. So why, oh why? Okay, let me squeeze the safety brake linkage a little closer. It did move like 4 millimeters, so maybe we were grounding out. Let me try it now. If that doesn't do anything, we're going to pull the plug and see if we got spark. Okay, let's go. Okay, we got a sleepy cable. So what I like to do is a test. I had the clamp up here on the bail bar. With it running, I like to let go of the bail bar for a second and then pull back down. The engine should start up again. It'll quit, start up. When I just did it then, let go, the engine quit. I went back down and put the bail clip on real quick, and then came here and moved the linkage. It did move, and then the engine started up. So I know we're grounding out here on the linkage. So that was the issue with that quitting out. It's right on the border of grounding out and or not. So I gotta maybe grease up the cable. The cable may be sticking, and I can see we got a bend right there. So I got to grease it up or oil it up from this end as well. So there is some dragging action. So thankfully I do not have to pull the carb off again. We had an electrical fault, so to speak. So I'll tinker with that. Well, hell, let's do it right now. I got my needle nose. We'll take that off. Shoot some oil down the tube. This project's coming along. We're nearly done. Oh, I didn't try the all-wheel drive yet. I'm trying to see my tabs and not put my big head in your face. I got to start up here. I can't get the cable off down there, so let me start here. Remove my clip. Take a screwdriver. I could probably oil it from here. What I'm going to do is remove the Z-bend from here. That'll give me a little slack down here to work with. I just made a big kink in it with my needle nose. Okay, there we go. So I pulled up all the extra slack. It is a little cruddy right there. I'm going to grab my oil can and force some oil down the tube, and then pull the cable up from the other end to get all this oil up into the tube. Okay, let me reach up here with my other hand, pull it down a 1/2 inch, goober it up some more with oil, go down another 1/2 inch, goober it more with a couple drops, go down some more. This usually does the trick. Pull up a little more, and that's where my screw up was. There's a bend right there that I created. Hopefully it doesn't restrict the action. And it looks like it is. Okay, let me bring you up here. We're going to do the same thing on this. Put a drop of oil here. Push the wire down or cable down from the top if I can. If I couldn't, I'd pull it from the other end. Okay, it's pushing down on its own from this end. I'm going to put a couple of drops on the drive cable, which feels like it's really loose. I hope this thing engages. There's a shitload of slack in the drive cable, but there is an adjustment here halfway down the cable, so we may have to adjust that. Grab both Z-bends and move the cable back and forth. Get that oil lubricating the conduit. Okay. I'm going to put the Z-bend back down here. I got a bunch of slack on the cable. I'm going to put the Z-bend back in the linkage. Put my cable through the hole and feed the clip into the bracket till it clicks. Okay, it's clicked. Now come up here and do this Z-bend. Another trick that I've used in the past is take a pair of channel locks and bend this bracket out a little bit where the cable enters the bracket. Bend it out a little bit to give more pull on the cable. Sometimes that helps. Bend it out like that a little bit. Takes up some slack. Okay, let's see what it'll do. What I'll do is start it and do the on and off test once it's started. Okay. Okay, this one is ready. Tested the bail bar. It would quit, start, quit, run, I mean. So that's set up right. We tried the drive system. I lifted up on the front, the front wheel drive worked, and then lean it back, and the rear wheel drive worked. So it is engaging both front and rear, so I don't have to make any adjustment on the cable. You would adjust your action here on this thing. This looks like your stop right there, that white nut, and you move the cable back and forth accordingly if you want to get rid of some of the slack in the belt down there. Okay, I'm calling this one done. I'm going to take a couple of pictures and send it to this guy that wanted a Husky, John Deere, or Lawn Boy all-wheel drive machine. What do you think the price would this go for? I'm thinking 150 to 170 maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe since it's all-wheel drive, I'll ask a little more, maybe 170. If he squawks and says 150, I'll do it. It's easier to go from high to low. You know what I mean? So maybe he thinks it's worth 200. If I say 170, he's gonna be extremely happy. He saved 30 bucks. Okay, this turned out good. Two-part video. Last part here we had success. Finally, was a little worried that it crapped out. Happened to be a fluke with these safety brake cable, but I've experienced that before, so I figured I'd check it out, and lo and behold, it was an issue there killing the coil. So all's well that ends well. Tip your waitress and wait staff. Have a good day. Come back and see me. Appreciate you guys coming out, checking out this junk. Like I said, I got a lot of videos coming up. Some parts have come in for some of the projects I had shown you before. Some of the junk, guys, hauls. I've ordered some parts for some of that junk, and stuff's trickling in, so I'll show you that coming up. Hopefully you'll be as excited as I am, maybe more excited. Okay, one final touch up here. I put a Z-bend here just to support the little plastic nipple. These get stressed out from all the stress on the plastic. Let me put one more on the cables to keep those from jumping up and down. Then I'll let you go. Oh, I must have had some cheap cables that broke right in half. That was unacceptable. What do you expect from Harbor Freight? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Okay, that supports it a little better. Okay, now you're done. Go have a Mountain Dew and a chocolate donut. I'm calling it done on this Husqvarna. Have a nice day today.